You could think of the violin as being an incredible piece of tech, because the violin was perfected, though, a long time ago, but probably perfected in the 17th century. But the instrument itself, this is a Guarneri del Gesù, and I also have a Stradivarius. I'm just trying out this $10 million violin. But every little curve, even the bridge, which every little curve has a reason. It acts sort of like a very sophisticated speaker system, and no one has been able to improve on this design, which is amazing. I mean, they've tried every other design trying to make it better. This design is still the best technologically so far.
Is it truly a $10 million violin?
Well, that's what they're asking for it. Yeah. So these are priceless. It's tech, and it's also a piece of art.
When was it made?
This was made in 1743. And my Stradivarius I also have, which is made in 1713. That's mine, which I own, and that's something very special.
So this is on loan to you?
This is on loan for the moment, and if I decide I want to buy it, then I'm really stuck. I don't know what to do, because I don't want to ever get rid of my Strad. So.
How much was your Stradivarius?
Well, several $1 million, and it's worth about the same as this one now.
You paid several $1 million for your
Several. I won't say exactly how much, but it's been a great investment. It's basically, I worked my whole life to save up for it.
Tell me what the difference is playing a multi-million-dollar violin versus...
There's something about the complexity of the sound that you feel as an artist. It's like, the only thing I can compare it to would be like a painter that has just millions of colors to choose from to get just the right shading. And that's the same thing with colors, sound colors. And it's very hard to explain. And it's sort of mysterious why the greatest violins have these options, and it's quality, like a fine wine as well. But it's something definitely worth the money. You know, I bought my first Stradivarius when I was 19, but it was one of the cheaper ones, and I sort of traded up to a greater Strad when I was 23, and then 10 years later, the Huberman Strad came available, and that was at the high end of the spectrum at the time, but it's tripled in value in 10 years. So it's been a great investment.
$10 million,
something like that.
Okay. Where did you find it?
That was in London.
Did you find it on eBay?
I've heard of great violins being on eBay. I would not.
So how did you hear about it?
It's through the grapevine. Actually, the Strad I've heard about. I was just by chance. I was walking into the shop just before I was going to play at the Royal Albert Hall in London, and I was picking up some strings. And they said, we have the Huberman Stradivarius in the shop. It's for sale. And I knew about it. It's a very famous violin. It had been stolen, and it's had a great history. And I tried it, and in about 10 seconds, I knew it had to be mine.
Now, guitar players play Strats too.
Yeah, different kind of Strats. Right. And the funny thing is that my Strat is called the Gibson Strat, which has nothing to do with the Gibson guitars. Because sometimes I mention that to guitar players. They go, I got a Gibson.